I prithee, pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee. They say you are a melancholy fellow. I am so. I do love it better than laughing. Those that are in extremity of either are abominable fellows, and betray themselves to every modern sense are worse than drunkards. Why, 'tis good to be sad and say nothing. Why then, 'tis good to be a post. I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musician's, which is fantastical, nor the courtier's, which is proud, nor the soldier's, which is ambitious, nor the lawyer's, which is politic, nor the lady's, which is nice, nor the lover's, which is all these. But it is a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples, extracted from many objects, and indeed the sundry contemplation of my travels, in which my often rumination wraps me in the most humorous sadness. A traveler! By my faith, you have great reason to be sad. I fear you have sold your own lands to see other men's, than to have seen much, and to have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands. Yes, I have gained my experience. And your experience makes you sad. I'd rather have a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad, and to travel for it too. Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind. Nay, then, God be with you, and you talk in blank verse. Farewell, Monsieur Traveller. Look, you lisp and wear strange suits, disable all the benefits of your own country, be out of love with your nativity, and almost chide God for making you that countenance you are, or I will scarce think you have swam in a gundello. Why, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You were a lover, and you served me such another trick never come in my sight more. My fair Rosalind, I come within an hour of my promise. Break an hour's promise in love. He that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts, and break but a part of the 1,000th part of a minute in the affairs of love, it may be said of him that Cupid hath clapped him on the shoulder, but I'll warrant him heart whole. Pardon me, dear Rosalind. Nay, and you be so tardy. Come no more in my sight. I have as lief be wooed of a snail. Of a snail? Aye, of a snail. But though he comes slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointure, I think, than you make a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him. What's that? Why, horns, which such as you are fain to be beholding to your wives for. But he comes armed in his fortune, and prevents the slender of his wife. Virtue is no horn-maker, and my Rosalind is virtuous. And I am your Rosalind. It pleases him to call you so, but he hath a Rosalind of a better leer than you. Come, woo me, for now I am in a holiday humor, and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now? I were your very, very Rosalind. I would kiss before I spoke. Nay, you had better speak first, and when you are gravelled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss. Very good orators, when they are out, they will spit, and for lovers lacking God warn as matter, the cleanliest shift is to kiss. How if the kiss be denied? Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins new matter. Who could be out before being his beloved mistress? Marry, that should you, if I were your mistress, or I should think my honesty ranker than my wit. What, of my suit? Not out of your apparel, and yet out of your suit. Am not I your Rosalind? I take some joy to say you are, because I would be talking of her. Well, in her person I say I will not have you. That in mine own person I die. No, faith, die by attorney. The poor world is almost 6,000 years old, and in all this time there was not any man died in his own person, videlicet in a love cause. Troilus had his brains dashed out with a Grecian club, yet he did what he could do die before, and he is one of the patterns of love. Leander, he would have lived many a fair year, though hero had turned none. And if it had not been for a hot midsummer night, for good youth, he went but forth to wash him in the Hellespont, and being taken with the cramp was drowned. And the foolish chroniclers of that age found it was hero of Sestos. But these are all lies. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love. Oh, I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind, for I protest her frown might kill me. By this hand, it will not kill a fly. But come now, I will be your Rosalind in a more coming on disposition, and ask me what you will, I will grant it. Then love me, Rosalind. Yes, faith will I, Fridays and Saturdays and all. And wilt thou have me? Aye, and 20 such. What sayest thou? Are you not good? I hope so. Why then can one desire too much of a good thing? Come, sister, and you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando. What do you say, sister? Pray thee, marry us. I cannot say the words. You must begin, will you, Orlando? Go to, will you, Orlando, have to a wife, this Rosalind? I will. Aye, but when? Why now, as fast as she can marry us. Then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for wife. I take thee, Rosalind, for wife. I might ask you for your commission, but I do take thee, Orlando, for my husband. As a girl goes before the priest, and certainly a woman's thought runs before her actions, so do all thoughts, they are winged. Now tell me how long you would have her after you have possessed her. Forever and a day. Say a day without the ever. No, Orlando. Men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Barbary cock-pigeon over his hen, more clamorous than a parrot against rain, more newfangled than an ape, more giddy in my desires than a monkey. I will weep for nothing, like Diana in the fountain, and I will do that when you are disposed to be merry. I will laugh like a hyene, and that when thou art inclined to sleep. But will my Rosalind do so? By my life, she will do as I do. Oh, but she is wise, or else she could not have the wit to do this. The wiser, the way water, make the doors upon a woman's wit, and it will out at the casement. Shut that, and 'twill out at the keyhole. Stop that, 'twill fly with the smoke out at that chimney. A man that had a wife with such a wit, he might say wit with their wilt. Nay, you might keep that check for it till you met your wife's wit going to your neighbor's bed. And what wit could wit have to excuse that? Marry, to say she came to seek you there. You shall never take her without her answer, unless you take her without her tongue. Oh, that woman that cannot make her fault her husband's occasion. Let her never nurse her child herself, for she will breed it like a fool. For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I will leave thee. Alas, dear love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours. I must attend the Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock I will be with thee again. Go your ways, go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much, and I thought no less. That flattering tongue of yours won me. 'Tis but one cast away, and so come death. 2 o'clock is your hour. Aye, sweet Rosalind, by my troth, and in good earnest, and so God mend me, and by all pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break one jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, and the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of her you call Rosalind, that may be chosen out of the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore beware my censor, and keep your promise, with no less religion than if thou wert indeed my Rosalind, so adieu. Well, time is the old justice that examines all such offenders, and let time try. Adieu. You have simply misused our sex in your love prate. We must have your doublet and hose plucked over your head, and show the world what the bird hath done to her own nest. Oh, coz, my pretty little coz, that thou didst know how many fathom deep I am in love, but it cannot be sounded. My affection hath an unknown bottom like the Bay of Portugal, or rather bottomless, that as fast as you pour affection in it runs out. No, that same wicked bastard of Venus that was begot of thought, conceived of spleen, and born of madness, the blind rascally boy that abuses everyone's eyes because his own are out. Let him be judge how deep I am in love. I'll tell thee, Aliena, I cannot be out of the sight of Orlando. I'll go find a shadow and sigh till he come, and I'll sleep.